If you're planning a trip to Thailand and are wondering where to go, this list has a little something for everyone. Whether you're coming here to party, whether you're coming here for the nature, whether you're coming here for the beaches, whether you're coming here long term, short term, or somewhere in between, this list has a little something for everyone. I've personally been to all of these places and spent some time there, and I've broken this down into what might suit your trip depending on what you're looking for, and give you a few tips about the places and why they might be right for you. So let's get stuck into number one on this list, and this isn't going to be groundbreaking. You will have heard it before, but that is Phuket. And the reason why this is on this list, it gets a lot of hate, but it's a good all-rounder. If you're coming to Thailand for your first time, if you want to be located in a place great for traveling, exploring around, if you want to have the nightlife there, the training there and everything else, Phuket is a great place to visit. Now, I will give you the pros and cons to every place on this list, and we'll start with Phuket. The pros: international airport that you can get to from many places around the world, which makes it a lot easier to get to. You've got so many excursions and trips that you can go to from Phuket. It just makes it an amazing location. If you are coming for training, I don't think there's a place on earth per square mile that has as many gyms, whether it's Muay Thai, MMA, or any other martial arts in the world. You are spoilt for choice, and there is places all across the island. You can go to Phi Phi Island, Similan Islands, you can go to Krabi, Samui, you can go to so many places if you are based in Phuket. You've also got the nightlife there in Patong, which has one of the biggest nightlife scenes in Thailand. So there is a little something for everyone in Phuket. Now, the downsides are it can be busy, and it is busy most the year round. You have the prices that are a little bit higher because of the tourist demands. You have a little bit less of an authentic Thai experience and feel there. And because it's busy, you also have the traffic. So there's pros and cons to Phuket. It's not for everyone, but if you're coming for your first time and you do plan to base yourself to see a lot of the islands in the south of Thailand, then I would suggest Phuket being a good place for you. It's also good for long-term stays. As I mentioned, it is a little bit on the higher and more expensive side of things, so do bear that in mind. The busyness for me is probably the biggest downside of Phuket, if I'm being honest. Moving on to number two on this list, and that is Krabi. Krabi is probably my favourite place in Thailand to go for a short period of time. I wouldn't say I would want to live there or spend months on end there, but to go for a week or 2 weeks and have a holiday, there's few places that I've ever been that have as much natural beauty. You can just drive and see the limestone cliffs. The water is crystal clear. You have some beautiful beaches there. The nightlife is good. It has clubs, it has bars, it has a lot of live music, and it has generally quite a chilled atmosphere and vibe there. There's hikes. Even though you've got the towns there, that you are in nature, and it doesn't take you long to really feel like you're in rural Thailand when you're in Krabi. I personally would stay in Ao Nang because that's got everything that's going on, especially if I'm going for a holiday. That's where I want to be based. The pros of Krabi are everything I just mentioned: the natural beauty, the water, the beaches, the varied nightlife. The food there is really good too. The downsides are it is a bit more expensive. It can get very busy. And if you were staying for a much longer period of time, it might get a little bit boring. I would suggest going to Krabi and visiting there if you get chance, because I think the place is amazing. But staying there longer term, maybe for some people, personally, not for me. Number three on this list is Hua Hin, and in my opinion, for a longer stay, for a calmer stay, this is a place I would repeatedly come back to, and it would be a massive contender. It's where I am right now, and it's where I've spent most of this year. The upsides of Hua Hin is you are very close to Bangkok. You don't need a flight. It's a 3-hour drive. You have a much calmer atmosphere. It is not so expensive. It's very affordable. It's easy to get around because it's quite small, and it's a very nice in-betweener of being somewhere busier and more popular, but also not being so quiet that there's not that much to do. It's not one of the busiest places. It's not got the craziest nightlife scene, but it's still got them things, and it's still got everything you need here, but without so much of the crowds that places like Phuket, Koh Samui, Bangkok actually attract. For longer stays in Thailand, Hua Hin would always be a top contender for me. Now, the pros are very affordable, close to Bangkok, got a lot of food here. The nightlife for me personally is perfect because you've got the bars, live music and everything, and I'm not into clubs. You're always quite close to just being a little bit out the centre and having more of a rural feel and Thailand's natural beauty. And it's just much calmer and a bit of a quieter vibe than the busier places. Now, the cons are that even though it's close to Bangkok, you're a little bit isolated. It's like a 9-hour, 10-hour drive down to Phuket and Krabi, and it's harder to get to Samui. Even though you can just drive to Bangkok and then fly to them places, it's still a little bit of faff. So that's why I say for longer stays, perfect. For shorter stays, maybe I would go somewhere else if I was just going on holiday. Another con is the beach here isn't a 10 out of 10 beach by Thailand standards whatsoever. It's okay, it's a long stretch, it's nice to walk on, it's not the best for swimming. And if you are a younger solo traveler, then meeting people might be a little bit more difficult because there's an older demographic here. In the high season, as it is now, you can see more younger people coming in, but in the lower season, there's definitely fewer people that you might meet if you were a solo younger traveler. Number 4 on this list is Khao Sok National Park. I don't see this getting enough love. I think the place is amazing. I only spent a few days there, but I think that's all you need. And effectively, you are in the jungle. Most of the accommodation there is very quiet, rural. You've got bungalows, you've got some hotels, but it's only 3 hours from Phuket, but you are in the jungle, you are in nature, it is beautiful, it is great for a few days to escape the hustle and bustle of Phuket if you've been there for a while. When I went, I think I'd been in Phuket about 3-4 months at the time, so I went there just for 3 or 4 days. And then when you get there, the peace, the noise, and just the quietness of the place was just so nice. Would you want to go there long term? No, definitely not, 100%. But you've got some nice restaurants there. It is very peaceful. It's nice for a few days. You have the nature there and everything else. So just to summarize that really quickly, the pros are you are getting away from everything. It is much quieter, less crowds, really peaceful, beautiful, scenic day trips that you can do. Just a nice, slower pace to wind down and relax. Cons are the obvious ones. It is quieter. There's not much going on. You're going to find it harder to get certain things after certain times, i.e. shops won't be open. The nightlife entertainment will be much more limited, but these aren't the things you're going to be going to Khao Sok National Park for. For a short trip, 10 out of 10. For a long trip, I just don't think most people would consider it. Now, number 5 and the final one on this list is Koh Samui. In my opinion, Samui is one of the best all-rounders, if not the best all-rounder in Thailand. You can go there for a good holiday. You can go there for a longer trip. You can go there for the training. You can go there to live permanently. It has something for everyone. It's a little bit quieter than Phuket, but it is still very busy. But overall, it still has more of a Thai feeling than Phuket does, in my opinion. The pros of Samui, you have some nice beaches. They're not quite as nice as Phuket, in my opinion, but it has some very nice beaches. It has some great food choices. Training there is really good, and there's some high-level Muay Thai camps and some MMA camps there. There's multiple different areas you can go to get a slightly different feel, atmosphere, depending on what you want. There's good nightlife there. It has an airport there that you can fly directly into. There's some good day trips from there, and you're in close proximity to Koh Phangan and Koh Tao, which are 2 other popular islands in that area of Thailand. And a little plus point on Samui that I see often get overlooked, has a slightly different rainy season or wetter months than other parts of Thailand, meaning if you were here long term, you could move around a little bit and go to Samui in certain months to avoid the wettest parts of the wet season elsewhere, and then leave Samui when it gets wet there to avoid the rain altogether. Now the cons, it's a little bit touristy, a little bit overpriced because of the tourism. A pro that I forgot to mention is the ring road around it makes it extremely easy to get around Samui, but The reason why I bring it up in the cons is because it also means, because you've got a big ring road that goes all around it, you've got a lot of traffic, especially at certain times of the day. Even though it has an airport, the airport is effectively ran by Bangkok Airways, so they get to choose how much money they charge for a flight, effectively a monopoly, which means that the price of flights internally from Bangkok, let's say, to Samui, even though they might be just 1 hour, they are a little bit more expensive, but generally it's a good service from what I've seen, even though I haven't actually flown with them previously. Another con is the fact that you either need to fly there or catch a ferry there, rather than being able to take a coach or minibus there. Although don't worry, if you're in Phuket or in Krabi, you can take a minibus to the ferry port and then get on and then just catch a ride the other side. Also, driving and riding there, the road conditions aren't always the best, and Samui has one of the worst accident rates among tourists in the whole of Thailand. Not to scare you off, I rode there, I was fine, many people are, but there are also regular accidents, so that's just one thing to bear in mind when you are in Koh Samui. So that is my list of the 5 places and the reasons why I would visit there. Personally, for me, if I was staying long term, it would be Hua Hin or Koh Samui, both having their strong points for different reasons, as I've discussed earlier. If I was coming here for Muay Thai or training, or specifically for that, Phuket would probably win, although, in my opinion, I would go there in the lower season to beat the crowds. If I was coming for a holiday, just for a short period, maybe 2 weeks, or I was living or staying in Thailand for a longer period and just wanted to go to explore somewhere, have a mini holiday, that would be Krabi or Ao Nang, in my opinion. That was my favourite, that has been my favourite. And if I wanted a short break to get away from everything, have peace, nature, and a few good day trips, Khao Sok would be hard to beat. This is why most of these things in my list are in the south. Yeah, you've got Chiang Mai and Pai up in the north, you've got Bangkok, you've got other regions of Thailand, you've got Trat and Koh Chang, and you might hear of all these places. The reason why I have given most of the things in my list in the south of Thailand is because of that reason. It is so easy to go from place to place, just half a day's trip, whereas when you're based in Hua Hin like I am right now, or in Chiang Mai, you're always like a flight away or quite an extensive drive that can put you off a little bit if you just wanted to go somewhere for a few days. Guys, I hope you found this list useful. If you think that I've missed something or you would change something, please let me know in the comments below. If you want any more info on these individual places, go on my channel. I've got a video on every one of these places individually, and go check them out for yourselves. If you've got time, try and go to all of them and more, and try and just explore as much of Thailand as you can. If you've only got a limited amount of time, then maybe just picking the best ones that seem the best suited for your trip might be the best solution. Guys, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. And one little request on this, if you did find it useful, I never asked for this, please hit the subscribe button. My channel is nearly at 10K now, and it'll be a nice little milestone that I didn't really think I would hit in 2024. Guys, appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.